Touhou Fan Game Jam 9 is here! Creators had 3 days to make games based around a theme, and the theme this time was ghosts and goblins. But the jam was made to coincide with Halloween, so I'm just going to group these as Halloween-themed Touhou fan games. We've got your spirits, we've got your Onis, and we've got your candy with costumes. Like usual, I also worked with the team to make a game. My team's game was called Touhou Spider Bites, but I'll be talking about other fan games today. I've chosen 20 to go through, which is just about under half of all the games from this jam. So without further ado, let's get to spookin'. First, let's do a quick fire round. Touhou Fan Game Jam 9 may not have a proper title, but it does contain some nice 8-bit action reminiscent of Castlevania. It feels just like an NES game, and has a surprising amount of content. Valley of Palliative Spirits features you playing as Kyoko and mopping up Suika's booze. The idea of using the broom to clean and attack is very Sunshine-esque and satisfying. The music and graphics are also really nice. Looming Threat is a 100-room game that steadily gets harder. Look at these graphics. Youmus so terrified, it's adorable. And there's even a mechanic to squeeze a little Suika plushie to calm down. Ramilia Quest is a platformer featuring the titular vampire. You go around exploring levels to try to defeat all the enemies. I really liked Ramilia's moveset. You got projectiles, creatable platforms, wall clinging, and glides. It's a very fun game to control. Fumofication has you playing as a Yomu Fumo and blasting your way through a dungeon. It's a twin-stick shooter with the unique mechanic of having 2 hitboxes to worry about. The game also runs shockingly smooth. Everyone Hates Merlin Prison River is a tech demo. You play as Merlin, and you can haunt this poor dude. The graphical style that blends 2D and 3D is really cool, and the title also gets you thinking. 99 Seconds is controlled exclusively using the mouse. You drag Yuyuko to dodge bullets and defeat enemies, but have to keep track of a stamina meter. The unique mechanic was pretty interesting. Risk of Revenants is stylized after Risk of Rain. There's not much else to say here. It's pretty cool. And 8 Ghosts of Old Genso fulfills an old dream of mine and builds a game around dolls and pseudo-paradise. There's only 1 level so far, but the team behind the game is set to make more. If you want a different type of Touhou story, then check this game out. Alright, now let's go more in depth with the remaining games. Bake Bake Battle is a versus game similar to Plants vs. Zombies. Instead of asymmetrical attackers and defenders, both sides get to take control of the same units. The game can come down to stalemates, but it is fun to figure out an opening. Also, there's online multiplayer. Yeah, in 3 days. You just need to play the game at the same time as someone else and bang, you're in. So, if you've got a friend that likes either Touhou or Plants vs. Zombies, check this game out. Spooktastic Mansion Adventure is the most traditional Touhou game from this jam. It's a Caravan shooter, which means it's a fast-paced game based around scoring. But, even if you don't focus on score, it's still pretty fun. The colors pop out, dodging is enjoyable, the music's great, and a plethora of lives and bombs means that people of varying skill levels can all enjoy the game. Yomu's Trick or Treat Simulator is a 1-minute-long minigame. You have to try to hand out as much candy as possible. There's a unique mechanic where you have to close and open the door depending on when someone knocks and when you've passed out treats. But, watch out for Suika. If you hand out candy to her, you get a scare so terrifying that I won't show it here. It's a very simple game that was executed extremely well. Project Sweet Serve is a puzzle game designed by Touhou Jam regular, Iced Lemon. While combos and matches are here, the main focus in Sweet Serve is to make sure your board doesn't get overwhelmed, and to serve customers on the side before their meter runs out. It creates a tense yet fun game where you have to manage both getting the right types of food, and making sure no single area of the board gets too high. And there's a ton of Touhou characters dressed in Halloween costumes that are ordering the food. Burning Spirit is a shmup developed by T-Body. If you recognize that name, then you might know T-Body as the guy who always makes Sega Genesis games for the Game Jams. Yes, you can run this on an actual Sega Genesis, but it also comes bundled with an executable to just run the game. You play as Suika and try to collect as much candy as possible, but you can't collect candy if you're shooting, so you balance between taking down enemies and collecting candy. It's pretty fun, and has a sweet remix of Touhou 6's extra stage song. Gensokyo the Dead is remarkably complete. The story intro is a bit... yeah, but everything else about the game works really well. The art's pretty charming despite the limited detail, and it also leads to attacks feeling fluid and responsive. There's a clear end goal in mind, and it can be pretty challenging to figure out how to get to the end. The music's also great. When I realized I was listening to a Dolls in Pseudo Paradise song, I started laughing. It's an all-around good time. Suika's Massive Meal was made by another Jam regular, Woman. It has their signature comedic art style and writing, but is a bit less story-based than some of their previous games. Instead, you get a game that kinda feels like a DS game. You have two phases. One puts the Ghosts and Goblins theme into full effect. It's Suika versus Yuyuko in an eating contest, a la Gourmet Race. You navigate the board to try to eat enough food, and select power-ups. But, you have to be careful about what food you can eat. The second phase has you clearing food a la same game, and matching food clears in bigger chunks. You recover energy from being on the top phase and getting more power-ups. Do you try to eat as much food as possible and brute force your way through? Or do you initially combine the same foods to catch up later? It's a very dynamic and fun system. An Unimaginable Freaky Obituary is a visual novel of the UFO cast telling ghost stories. Let me get this out of the way right now. There's no gameplay. Whether you like the game or not will come down to the story and presentation, and goddamn, the presentation is great. With 4 different writers and artists, each story has its own unique vibe and impressive artwork. From secrets to urban legends, there's a lot of good stuff to be found in AUFO. If you like the UFO cast, or just like good Touhou stories, definitely check this game out. The Gadfly of Gensokyo is another story-based game. This was by my friend Jacoder, who did all the art, programming, music, and writing. You play as Diotima, a female philosopher who's rumored to have mentored Socrates. People debate on whether she was real or a historical myth, so her showing up in Gensokyo makes perfect sense. You get a game based around philosophically discovering the meaning of love. To find this, you debate with various Touhou characters. And the Halloween part? You do this as a ghost. You haunt everyone around you to try to discover what love is. And the ending of this game made me think more than any other Touhou fan game I've played. This is definitely a dense experience, but it's super unique. I think this is a must-play. Kogasas Surprise Operation has you playing as Kogasa, trying to scare incoming trick-or-treaters so you can collect as much candy as possible. I don't think I need to explain why that premise is great. The art style is extremely charming, with Paper Mario-like sprites running against a simple background. The gameplay is also really fun as you balance incoming bonus candy, enemies you need to hide from, and exactly where to hide to maximize scaring as many people as possible. Oh, and the music is insanely good. The game probably has my favorite song of the jam. In terms of capturing Halloween, I think this game does the best job. It's a must-play. And lastly, we have I Love Not Thinking. My friend Aeon has made a lot of games with extremely unique gimmicks and concepts, but I personally think this is their best game. You play as Koishi, seemingly within her own subconscious. The writing captures Koishi's bouncing thoughts perfectly, as both Koishis go in and out arguing about their third eye. And then the gameplay starts. You can't shoot to deal damage, and you have to close your eye. The only way to deal damage is to stop watching. From a gameplay perspective, this leads to you searching for sweet spots and dodging patterns, which creates a unique bullet hell experience. From a storytelling perspective, this ties the gameplay directly into the narrative. You close your eyes to win just like Koishi does. I think this is absolutely brilliant, and a huge achievement for just 3 days of work. And the presentation is also great, with some nice graphics and a cool remix of Hartman's Yokai Girl. You know the drill. Must play. And those were my favorite Halloween games from Touhou Fan Game Jam 9. If you want to play the games I talked about, as well as check out the 20 plus games I didn't talk about, you can find a link to the Game Jam page in the description below. Have a happy Halloween! And if you see Kogasas, maybe let her scare you. It would probably cheer her up.